الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا رسول الله محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المظلومين المنتجبين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Brothers and sisters, please recite a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad. Today, in this age and in this generation, there is a notion that Islam, the religion of peace and harmony, is a religion that is anti-social. A religion that doesn't allow anybody from outside of its circles to enter within the realm of La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. A religion that, if you were to ask a few Muslims today, all due to a few Muslims today, stating that I cannot befriend anybody who is not a Muslim. Due to some individuals of these types, Islam has gained a tainted name, where somebody claims that I can only be a friend with another Muslim. And this is false to the highest degree. Absolutely false. In what sources and narrations do we have that state only a Muslim can be a friend with another Muslim? In what sources do we have that state only be friends with those whom identify as Muslimin? Absolutely none. In fact, it is recommended to be friends with all sects, all groups of life, all races, every type of human being out there. If you can be friends with all of them, it is better than being enemies with every single one of them. And that is why I remember a hadith by Imam Ali alayhi salam saying that allow your enemy 1,000 times and 1,000 chances to be your friend, but don't allow your friend one chance to be your enemy. Salamullahi alayhi. And I will also remember the same Imam, commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Asadullah al-Ghalib, stating to, and this is a very famous narration, to his companion Malik al-Ashtar, and we all know where this is going, where he says, understand, O Malik, that people are what? Two types, sinfan. What? Amma akhan laka fi ad-din, or they are either your brother in religion. And here is a very fundamental point. Religion is considered the faith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The commandments of Allah are considered the religion of the bashar, the human being. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the religion down. Whomever identifies with that religion are considered your friends. Isn't Christianity a religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Isn't Judaism a religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There are other faiths out there, Abrahamic faiths of all branches. Aren't they all religions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Amma akhan laka fi ad-din. And if they don't have a religion, they're equal in humanity. أو نظير لك في الخلق. Hands down. There is no exception. Whether you like it or not, you can be friends with anybody. Brothers and sisters, someone may ask the question, how about a non-believer? Somebody that doesn't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then they'll use the most craziest of terms, a kafir, a munafiq. Can I be friends with them? A disbeliever. And I heard some people mentioning, is it okay to be friends with nasibis? People that have anger and hate for Ahlul Bayt. Is it okay to be friends with them? You're saying all likes of life. Can we be friends with those that disapprove of Allah's oneness and tawheed? The answer lies here. When you decide to be friends with somebody that identifies wholeheartedly as, let's say, when you say kafir, do you mean atheist? Because there are different interpretations. There's a different context. An atheist or an agnostic or a theist or a deist or a pantheist. Which one do you mean? Are you going to categorize all of them under the same umbrella? Of they all don't believe in Allah? No. There are those who haven't decided. There are those whom listen to the TV and the TV says Jesus turned water into wine. An intoxication, a ni'mah of Allah turns into an intoxication. I don't want that religion. There are those people that say, I watch the television and I see the Holy Prophet of Islam, waging so many wars. Badr, Uhud, Khandaq, Hunayn, Tabuk. That didn't happen, but Tabuk. All these wars and his successors, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Siffin, Jamal, Nahrawan, the religion of peace. When they look at the media, what do they say? If I had to choose between Islam and other religions, I'd rather not choose any religion because all of them are unfavorable, all of them are uncomfortable. And so I don't identify with a religion, but I identify with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This sort of person, give them a chance. We mentioned the hadith by Imam Ali, give your enemy 1,000 chances to be your friend, but give your friend not one chance to be your enemy. Try to motivate, inspire, enlighten the heart of all those who don't believe. Even if they were nasibis, even if they were, and as we mentioned in nasibis, what? Someone that has karaha, someone that has a disapproving view of Ahlul Bayt. It's the most appropriate way as I can put it. Someone, and if we want to go into literal text, hates Ahlul Bayt, hates Muhammad wa al Muhammad, and this is something very deadly right here. Deadly for the soul and for the being. Somebody that hates Ahlul Bayt is somebody that doesn't deserve to understand the values of Ahlul Bayt because they probably understood their values, yet they put them aside. Then what more do you need to learn? If Ahlul Bayt have came forth with reasons and logic and qiyam and principles, yet you rejected them, and on top of that you called them the enemies, then you are lost. There's no hope for you. However, there are also chances that you may give to other people. Somebody that's a nasibi, give them a chance. But brother, where do we have examples where somebody that despised Ahlul Bayt was given a second chance? Numerous occasions regarding Ahlul Bayt, and in particular regarding one of the companions of Sayyiduna wa Mawlana Abi Abdullah al-Husayn Salamullahi alayh. Tonight is the night, brothers and sisters, in which we recognize the Ansar of Sayyidu Shuhada. Likewise, as we mentioned, yesterday was a day in which we highlighted, what did we highlight? Muslim ibn Aqil, Salamullahi alayh. And there are days, tomorrow inshallah will be the day of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. Be here tomorrow, brothers and sisters, so that we can go over the value of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas at his time and in our times, and how he can be as an example, as a manifestation for us in this day and in this age, in all aspects of life, insha'Allah ta'ala. Tonight we recognize the companions, the Ansar. We mentioned give a second chance, if not give a third chance. To whom? Those that despised Ahlul Bayt. So if those that despised Ahlul Bayt, then how about those that simply haven't chosen Ahlul Bayt, that haven't seen the nur of Ahlul Bayt in their eyes, haven't seen it, haven't felt it in their hearts. Those, then you should give chances. Tonight, I want to look at one companion of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, as tonight, as we mentioned several times, is the night of the Ansar, and we look at this companion, where he came from, how he was established into the ranks of Sayyiduna wa Mawlana Imam al-Husayn and his companions, and where he is right now. And that is none other than Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. This man, according to several ulama, amongst them is Sayyid Muhsin Al-Amili, states that he was an Uthmani. An Uthmani meaning somebody that promoted the caliphate of Uthman bin Affan, and stated that Imam Ali was responsible for his death, and held campaigns against Amir al-Mu'mineen, stating you were responsible for the death of the Caliph Uthman. He held campaigns against Imam Ali, somebody that holds campaigns with news, with people informing the world, saying that Imam Ali is responsible for the death of the Caliph. And there is a hadith by the Holy Prophet, Man mat wa lam ya'raf Imam zamana mata mitatan jahiliyyah. And the second narration, whoever goes against his Imam of his time dies a death of like that of the days of ignorance, jahiliyyah, before even Islam was established. Therefore, Imam Ali falls into this condition and in this rank, according to Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Therefore, Zuhair, he identifies himself in this category as what? As those who identify themselves as nasibis. They had a disapproving opinion of Ahlul Bayt. Those people, do they have hope in this dunya? Of course they can, brothers and sisters. When Imam al-Hussein salamullahi alayhi was going to Kufa, and there's one point I want to make really briefly, and I think it's very interesting. It's a little bit off topic, but I think it's very interesting, and it would be very valuable to mention. Imam al-Hussein, I'm going to ask you now, was going where? When he left Mecca, he went to go where? Kufa, right? If he's going to Kufa to gain what? The authority over the Muslimin, why did he take Sayyida Zainab and not take other of his relatives? Why did he take his family and not take other of his family members? As in, if you're going to claim the throne, so to speak, why would you leave behind with you the husband of your sister, Abdullah ibn Ja'far ibn Abi Talib? Abdullah, the husband of Sayyida Zainab, Imam Hussein said, you can stay here. If you want, you can stay here. He didn't bring him with him, but he brought who with him? Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. And he didn't bring most of his other women in his circle. He brought Sayyida Zainab, a Sayyida Ruqayya, and a Sayyida Sukaina. He brought individuals. Why? When he's going to Kufa, bring your whole family with you. You're going to accept the throne. And finally, the Ahlul Bayt will have power over the Muslim Ummah. Because he knows, brothers and sisters, listen right here, he knows that the ultimate goal is not Kufa, but it's Karbala. So that's why he knows that if I go, I have to bring Sayyida Zainab, because I have the knowledge of the unseen. Ilmul Ghaib has descended upon us Ahlul Bayt through the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala. And so, after the events of Karbala, I need somebody with me that will take the reins and continue on forth from Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Sham, from Sham back to Medina. And no one can handle that responsibility other than a Sayyida Zainab alayha salam. And nobody will set examples for the future of the mu'mineen like a Sayyida Ruqayya and a Sayyida Sukaina. And nobody will stay steadfast, loyal, and just on our path like my brother Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. So he takes a handful of individuals and he leaves others. Ibn Abbas, the relatives, Ubaydullah ibn Abbas, a distant relative of Ahlul Bayt, didn't go with Imam al-Hussein. Kumail ibn Ziyad al-Nakha'i, Kumail, you read Dua Kumail every Thursday, inshallah. The man named after this dua, Kumail ibn Ziyad, wasn't there in Karbala. He stayed behind. Who else? Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, Imam al-Hussein's own brother. Brothers and sisters, didn't go and attend Karbala. Imam Hussein picked a few individuals. And you come with me because I know the destination, the final destination is not Kufa, it's going to be Karbala. And only you will handle what's going to go on. Brothers and sisters, we always say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum fanafuza fawzan azima. We ask Allah to give us the honor, the nobility, the noble, the luxurious feeling of maybe perhaps to have been there. We ask Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, make us from those whom were considered there with Al-Imam al-Hussein. Ya Allah, we wish we would have been there to help Al-Imam al-Hussein. And if you were there, would you really have helped Al-Imam al-Hussein? Think about it. I am somebody that makes sins. I am corrupt. And I'm speaking on myself, on my own behalf before anybody else. I know myself more than I know anybody else. And I have done the wrong that I have done. I have seen the injustice in front of me, yet I may or may have not stopped it. I may not have been forth. Maybe Allah is disapproving of me. Maybe Allah doesn't approve of my actions, some of my actions. Would Imam Hussein allow me to go? When Imam al-Hussein says, هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنصِرُنَا, we always say, Ya Abi Abdullah, Fidak Ummi wa Abi. May my parents be sacrificed for you. Really, would you really put yourself in that position to go and help Imam al-Hussein? Imam Hussein writes a letter to Habib ibn Mudahir, one of the companions, and he says, Ya Habib, from your lover, Abi Abdullah, come to us and help us out. Sincerely, your lover, Abi Abdullah. And then when Imam al-Hussein was waiting and receiving information that somebody in the distance is coming, Abi Abdullah went out excited saying, Kun Habib, please be Habib. And upon reaching the companions and the tents of Mawlana Abi Abdullah, Habib ibn Mudahir embraces Imam al-Hussein, hugs him, kisses his holy head and says, I came to help you, Abi Abdullah. And above that, he received the sharaf, the honor to have been given his salams by As-Sayyida Zainab alayha salam. Imam al-Hussein says, listen Habib, if you don't mind, my sister, my dearest Sayyida Zainab wishes to send her salams to you, if you don't mind. What kind of honor, brothers and sisters? Would Imam al-Hussein put that in our positions? Would we accept that, honestly? There was a man that says, and it's a very good, valid point, he says, I had a dream one day, and I saw myself between Imam al-Hussein and between Umar ibn Sa'ad. And I was there when Imam al-Hussein was praying. This is a dream. He says, I was there when he was praying. And when he was praying, Imam Hussein, as we know, told some of the companions, stand guard, because arrows were going to be shot at us. And so block the arrows with your shield, and if not your shields, with your own selves. And you will be with us in Jannah, inshaAllah ta'ala. He says, I was there, and I was guarding for Imam al-Hussein. A man from the opposition shot an arrow. As soon as it's coming to hit me, my job is to what? To block and shield the Imam while he's in salah, vulnerable. As soon as the arrow came, I dodged it, and it hit the Imam. I protected myself above my Imam. We always say, Ya laytana kunna ma'ak. But if we were there, would we have committed? The man says, I jumped out of the way. I jumped again a third time, and there were so many arrows on Imam al-Hussein, I couldn't count. He woke up having a new perspective and perception and point of view as to what he truly means when he says, Ya Allah, I wish I would have been there. And back, inshallah ta'ala, to the point as to establishing brotherhood, brothers and sisters. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, as we said, was an Uthmani. Nasibi, if you want to say. When Imam al-Hussein is going to Kufa, he sees a man and his tents are alongside. He goes to the man and he invites him to the tents of Imam al-Hussein. He goes and he sends a messenger. The messenger says, we have Hussein, son of Ali here, and he wants to send his salams to you and he wants to speak with you. And so he leaves this messenger, and Zuhair ibn al-Qayn saying to himself, why would I go and help him? His father, I was against him. There's no need to go and help him. Why would I aid him in any way? Zuhair's wife says, listen, this is the son of Fatima Zahra. Aren't you a Muslim? At least go and see what he wants for the sake of his bloodline, the son of the Holy Prophet, the grandson of the Holy Prophet. Aren't you Muslim? Go see what he wants. It was through his wife that she was able to convince him to go to Imam al-Hussein and ultimately join his ranks. I don't know what he said to him, honestly. Imam al-Hussein, a few words, a few minutes, daqa'iq, a few minutes, sitting and talking, having a discourse, talking, dialogue, somehow managed Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, managed to get him to come out of Imam al-Hussein's tent, saying, Labbayka ya Abi Abdullah, I will be with you till the end. What changed him so fast? Allahu A'lam. The words of Imam Ma'soom are words that can never be compared to ours. They are not parallel. I don't know. Another example, and by the way, brothers and sisters, we said this was a what? Nasibi, yes? And now what does he end up with? What does he end up as? In the ranks of the shuhada, the companions, in the ranks of those whom the years will go by and people will remember his name as one of those that fought and aided Imam al-Hussein. We ask Allah to make us from those people. Another incident, Wahab al-Nasrani, Wahab the Christian man, he was Christian. Another example for us, you don't have to be Muslim. You can just have a heart and you will understand the fundamental value, the qiyam, the principles that this holy figure, this character, this personality, Al-Imam al-Hussein has to bring forth to the world, and immediately you will feel convinced. You don't need to be Muslim. Just have a heart. Just have a heart. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. And then you have Wahab al-Nasrani. This man Wahab, they say he was handsome. He just got married. He was young. He had his life ahead of him. And he was sitting, going on a vacation, like a honeymoon. Him, his mother, and his bride, his newlywed wife. And as they're going, the men and women of Imam al-Hussein, the caravan, they see Wahab al-Nasrani, and Imam sends a few men to go and speak to him, to ask him how he's doing, if he's feeling well, if he needs any assistance. The caravan had not much to offer. However, whatever they can do to help this person at this time, they would most gladly do so. And so Wahab is informed of what happened. And he has been received the invitation of joining Imam al-Husayn's caravan. Again, Wahab denied. He says, I don't need this. I'm married. I have my life ahead of me. And it doesn't look like it's going to end well. A man going to a city, yet there's news that there's an army coming by from Kufa. This doesn't look like it's going to end well. I'd rather stay out of this. You have to excuse me. Something very interesting happened here, according to certain narrations. According to certain narrations, the mother of Wahab said, who was that you spoke with previously? From whom did this person come? Where? He said, he came from a man who calls himself Hussein, the son of Ali. She says to him, shocked, Hussein, the son of Ali? Which Ali? The son of Ali ibn Abi Talib? The Ali, the son of the father of Talib? Is it that Ali? He says, I believe so, it's him. She says, by Allah, go back to Hussein, son of Ali, and help him with whatever he needs. He says, why, mother? Why is that? She says, because had it not been for the dua of Ali ibn Abi Talib, you wouldn't have been born. It's interesting because Ahlul Bayt, they don't turn down a request. This Christian woman approaches Imam Ali years back and she says, Ya ibn Rasulillah, I cannot have a baby. Brothers and sisters, keep this as a lesson for some of those who have trouble having children. There is only one type of family that can answer the dua that you have. And that's Muhammad and Al Muhammad, brothers and sisters. She says, I can't have a child. And I know you are somebody that doesn't turn down requests from anybody. So please ask Allah, ask the Lord to give me and grant me my wish and give me a child. It was by the dua of Ali ibn Abi Talib that this Wahab was born. Oh Wahab, go and help Hussein as much as you can, for his father helped me as much as I need it. And likewise, Wahab joins the ranks of Abi Abdullah and was martyred on that night, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, let us remember and remind ourselves that you can inform anybody about the story of Karbala, and they, without a doubt, if they have a heart, in fact, if they have any form of belief, ideology, sect, or creed, whatever they identify themselves as, even if they seem to have no hope inside of them, as we mentioned earlier, someone that says, I'm a Nasibi, I couldn't care less about these sort of characters, don't give up. Don't give up. Speak with them, enlighten them. Imam Ali would walk to Kufa by himself, and he would walk alongside a Jewish man. And this Jewish man and Imam Ali would have a long discussion. And the man would ask Imam Ali, he would say, where are you headed to? Imam says, I'm going to Kufa. And the man says, by the way, Kufa was a few miles back. You missed Kufa. The fork in the road split it back then. You have to go back. Why were you accompanying me this much if Kufa was behind us a few moments back? The Imam says, because I know a narration by the Holy Prophet of Islam saying, when you accompany somebody, don't leave them until they've reached their destination. These are the akhlaq of mu'mineen. The man says, who are you? And from what akhlaq did you receive this information from? From what man did he inscribe this sort of akhlaq? Where? Who? He says, Rasulullah, and I am Ali, the successor of Rasulullah, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And it was at that moment, according to historians, that Jewish man became a Muslim. Just a simple act, brothers and sisters, of kindness. What do they say these days? It's the little things that count. Whatever you can do to put forth, enlighten other people. Don't have that stigma inside of you saying, I can't be friends with anybody unless they're Muslim. No. I can't be less with anybody unless they're Muslim Shi'i. No. I can't be less with anybody unless they are a Muslim Shi'i from my country, from my village, from my street, from my next door neighbor. No. What is this? Where is the Quran when it says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً? Where is the Quran when it says all the believers are brothers? Where is Imam Ali when he says people are two, either your brother in or your equal in? Whatever you want to decide, you decide. You will be a lonely man at the end of the day if you put out everybody. And sometimes it is wajib upon us, obligatory. It's a mandatory rule, it's a mandatory order by Allah for us to inform people if we have that knowledge. When you have knowledge and you don't spread it, it's haram on you. If you have something that you could have said to somebody to get them close to Allah and Ahlul Bayt, and you refrain from doing so, then that's haram upon you. And I'm going to give a personal example after Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I remember growing up, going through high school, I received a gift by a friend of mine who came back from ziyarah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us the honor of going to ziyarah in Iraq from Karbala. This friend of mine gave me a necklace that had the Dhul Fiqar. You know Dhul Fiqar sword? A lot of the shabab these days wear it. I guess it's a symbol of strength, I don't know. Anyways, one day I decided to wear this necklace and I went to school with it. I went to school and my Christian friend, and I will never forget his name, I don't know where he is now, but his name's Steve. I call him Steven. Steven says to me, "What's that you're wearing?" Notice, Christian, he says he's Christian and I'm Muslim, and I say, I thought in myself that I could just say this is a necklace and a sword and that's all it is, nothing more, nothing less. But I said something else. I said, this is a necklace that belonged to the Holy Prophet that I believe in. He said to me, Jesus? I said, no, Muhammad. He said to me, tell me more. I said, he gave this sword to his successor Ali, son of Abu Talib. He says, really? I said, yes. He said, tell me more. I said to him, then the sword was passed on to his son, Al-Imam Al-Hassan, and then Imam Al-Hussein, and then Imam Ali ibn Al-Hussein, then Imam Al-Baqir, then Imam Al-Sadiq, then so on and so forth, to the final Imam that I believe in. One thing led to another, brothers and sisters. For some reason, somehow, I don't recall when exactly, but this person became so interested in Ahlul Bayt, and I'm speaking from a personal example, that I remember he didn't say I'm a Muslim, but he said every time, and I noticed this in my own experience, we were playing a game, I think soccer, every time he'd fall, he'd say, Ya Ali. American Christian, Ya Ali. What did you just say? He says, I said, Ya Ali. I said, why? He says, because Ali is a symbol of strength. You're telling me that this man picked up the gate of Khaybar and launched it with one hand, and he goes back the next week and he says, I can't break a piece of stale bread against my knee because I picked up the gate with the power of Allah, but I'm trying to break this for me with my own power. Subhanallah. Subhanallah, brothers and sisters. Introduce the light of Ahlul Bayt through your actions. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq says, Kunu du'atan lana, be as a form of those whom bring people to Islam, to Ahlul Bayt, without using your tongues if you need to. If you want to bring people to Ahlul Bayt, just be yourself. Apply the qiyam, the principles of Ahlul Bayt, and you will see people will come running after you. You don't have to run after people. When they see somebody with morals and ethics, respecting the elderly, this is something I think we are not implementing in our lives a lot. We're not highlighting. There are elderly people, brothers and sisters. Respect the elderly. Allow them to walk ahead of you. If it's to that degree, allow them to be ahead of you. Maybe they're slow, but allow them. If you need to see, if they need any help in any way, help them. Respect the elderly. But above that, respect yourself by implementing the values of Ahlul Bayt and the values of Imam Al-Hussein and the values of Ahlul Bayt through Imam Zainul Abidin, the son of Imam Al-Hussein, in his book Risalatul Huquq, the treatise of the rights of everybody. And we're going to get into this book in later nights because, for the sake of time, these rights, the Imam says there is a right for your neighbor. Show him, give him all his rights. If you don't give him all his rights, then you are not from us Ahlul Bayt. Those that take away the rights of other people that deserve it are not true Muslims. There is a right for the mother. Implement that in your life. There is a right for the father. Implement that in your life. Don't say I'm a Muslim out loud and you walk with your head held high when you don't respect the person that helped raise you and give you that head to hold high. Implement these values in your life, brothers and sisters. Put them inside of you and you will see people walking around you, rotating you, like a light source in the middle of the night. Where people are lost, they will come after you because they see you as a representative of those whom brought forth the best examples. The best examples in the world are inside the teachings of Muhammad and Al-Muhammad. And let me be straight exactly, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If you need and I love bringing this example down. If you need a manifestation of purity, don't look further than Rasulullah. Never. Rasulullah is the most pure. If you need an example of loyalty, don't look further than Imam Ali. If you need an example, a manifestation of generosity, don't look further than Imam Al-Hassan. If you need an example, a manifestation of sacrifice, don't look further than Imam Al-Hussein. If you need a manifestation, an example, someone that is an epitome, the exact representative of prayer, ibadah, don't look further than the man his name is Sayyidus Sajideen, Al-Imam Zainul Abideen. He was named the master of those who prostrate. You need an example for those that do prayer? Don't look further than Imam Zainul Abideen. If you need a manifestation of patience, brothers and sisters, there's an Imam by the name of Imam Musa al-Kadhim. And I'm pretty sure we all know where this is headed. The Imam in prison for several years of his life, yet he remained steadfast and a firm believer in Allah's message that this is divine and this must happen, because there will be people, mu'mineen, that will look back on this situation and base their life off of. And we truly do. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, insha'Allah, this year in Arba'een, as the numbers gain in the people, their numbers are rising. Every year the numbers excel. Every year the numbers are becoming bigger. In Hajj, if I'm not mistaken, it's a couple million, around 4 or 5, maybe less, maybe more. In Ziyarat al-Arba'een, when people walk to Imam al-Hussein, it's between 11 to 15, and it's becoming larger. The millions of people walk to this man because they remember that this man gave everything to Allah, and so Allah did what? Gave him everything. You think Imam Hussein died and that's it? The story ends? Imam Hussein sacrificed himself so that our story continues. Whereas if Imam Hussein would have stopped right there, Yazid would have continued the message of Islam as a man that is drunkard, womanizer, tyrannical, mischievous, brutal ruler. Islam would have had a worse image than it does have today. And this is because of our part. We haven't given the justice that the religion of Islam needs. When we mention Islam, mention it alongside Ahlul Bayt. When you say, I have the Quran and that's all I need, say, no, I have the Quran with Ahlul Bayt. ما إن تمسكتم بهما لن تضلوا بعدي أبدا كتاب الله وعترة أهل بيتي. Be with the two, because if you have the Quran, you're going to be misguided. The Quran has sayings and tafsir that you won't understand unless a ma'soom comes and translates it for you. And Ahlul Bayt have done so. Not for all the verses, but if you connect the pieces of the puzzle, you'll get the grand picture, inshallah, regarding the Quran. That's one point. And brothers and sisters, we mentioned the incident of ziyarah and the concept of mashayah and how the numbers are excelling. I just want to mention one narration, and I will conclude, inshallah ta'ala, after a lot salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There was a lady in the United States military. She went to Iraq when Iraq was occupied by the military. She went there, and at a time, the time passed, and it was Arba'een. It was the 40th day after the martyrdom of Sayyidina Mawlana Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And this lady, coming from the West, doesn't recognize what's happening, and so she asks a few of the translators. And she mentioned this at the Lady Fatima Center in Denver, Colorado, a few years back. She came in herself and she mentioned her story. She says that I was there doing my job, and I see these thousands of people walking to one direction, screaming the same shout. They're saying something repetitively. And so I asked the translator, what's going on? They said to me that they are going to a man by the name of Hussein, and they believe that this Hussein gives them anything they want. So basically like a king. She says, like a king? He's like kinda like a king, yeah. You go to him, you say what you need and desire, he gives it to you. She says, then I have something I have to ask him. He says, what is it? The translators ask her. She says, I have an issue. You say this Hussein is a humble man of faith and humanity. They say to her, yeah, and he will never reject anybody that comes to his door, brothers and sisters. They said, yeah. She says, then I have a haja. I have been trying for the several of years to have a child, and I never was able to have one. Can this Hussein, son of Ali, give me a baby, and I am a Christian woman? I don't know anything about him. Can he or no? The man says, you know what? He is like Babul Hawa'ij. He will never let down anybody that goes and does tawassul at his door. Never. Go if you need. She says, I went to Karbala with my uniform, and I went to the haram of Sayyid al-Shuhada, but I didn't go inside because I'm not a Muslim. And she says, I from outside of the haram, I wasn't even inside. She says, I raised my hand and I said, oh Hussein, son of Ali, I know you are the gate of hajat. You are Babul Hawaj. You are the gate of all those that desire anything. You will never reject them. Oh Hussein, son of Ali, I have my haja. I am not Muslim. I don't identify as even a Shi'i. But I heard you give those. You give to those that come to you with sincerity. Hussein, give me a baby. She says, Hussein, I want a child. And I haven't had one with all my attempts. I need a child. She goes back home to the US, brothers and sisters. And when she returns back home, she gets an examination done on her. Believe it if you would like or not, according to her own mouth. She says, I was pregnant with a child. And with that child, when he was born, I named him Hussein. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ala Muhammad wa ali. She said, I had a child and I named him Hussein. And above that, I became a Muslimah on that night, understanding with my knowledge that this man never lets down anyone with clear intentions in their heart. If you want to go and make tawassul, make it from here or from the Darih. Imam Hussein will never reject your desires. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If you want anything, you can go. If you can be in America, then that's fine. But if you can be in the Darih and in the Haram, then that's even better. But just understand, when you ask for him, he will never reject you. And understand, if you send your salams, he will always respond to you, because he is the man that Rasulullah says he is from. Husaynun minni wa ana min Husayn. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise us with Muhammad and Al Muhammad. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the ziyarah of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the shafa'ah of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one last time, brothers and sisters, to help us gain this beautiful knowledge, the beauty, the nur of Ahlul Bayt in our hearts during these days and in this month of Muharram. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.